It's Sunday, we're back. This week, super quick, super simple, super easy, 6 delicious dressings. That's what we're making. They take only minutes per each single one, so you have no need to buy them from the shops. They could not be easier to make. So, that is all. We are gonna make 6 easy homemade dressings that taste absolutely banging, will brighten up any winter's day, or zhuzh up any summer salad. So let's jump into 6 incredible dressings that you can make at home. The first one up of these dressings, honey mustard. It only takes a minute. Don't buy the stuff from the shop. You need very few ingredients. So let's make it. This would be enough to put on a salad for 4 people. Now, the mustard's up to you, but I really like to use whole grain, but Dijon is absolutely amazing because then it goes like really super creamy, or you could use hot English if you wanted it a bit spicier, but we're gonna make this one with whole grain. So take 1 tablespoon of whole grain mustard, 1 large teaspoon of honey, and what you want to remember when you're making salad dressings, you want 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil. So I'm gonna do 1 whole tablespoon of vinegar, and we're going to do 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're also going to add to that some salt and some pepper, and then just whisk it all together. Give it a little taste. Oh, it's lovely. These sorts of things are totally up to your taste. If you like something a bit sharper, just add a little bit more vinegar, but the ratios are what you want to use just so you get a really good consistency of a dressing that doesn't split. But that is it. And get out your trusty spatula. If any of you don't have one of these or looking for some great kitchen items to buy, I've got a video just up here about my top 10 kitchen items. You should give it a watch. Pour it all into your little container. And that's it. Honey mustard dressing. So simple, so quick, took a minute. Why would you buy it? Let's move on to the next one. Another super simple, classic vinaigrette. This interchangeable, customizable, however you like it. I'm using all fresh ingredients, but what you can do is use dried. So I've got some fresh oregano, some fresh thyme, and some fresh basil, and a fresh garlic. With these ingredients, it will last for like a week in the fridge. If you use dry ingredients, it will last a month in the fridge. This is a really great vinaigrette to make with just things you've got in the cupboard, because I'm also going to use some chili flakes, and then again, just some vinegar and some oil. I actually have here some nice white balsamic vinegar. You could use balsamic vinegar, or if you didn't have any of them, just use plain regular vinegar. That's the thing with vinaigrettes, it's in the title, and you just kind of use whatever vinegar you have. But this guy is super fresh, super delicious, and again, really easy to make. I just don't get why anyone would ever buy the horrible ones in a jar because they're full of sugar and just a bit rubbish, when you can make fresh ones in moments. So we're just going to chop these and we're going to grate in the garlic. This is actually quite a large garlic clove. Now, I absolutely love a garlicky dressing, but not all of you might do. So if you didn't want to use a whole one, you can just use a half. Add in a few little bits of chili flake, probably half a teaspoon, but again, if you like it spicier, add a little bit more. And now we'll add 1.5 tablespoons of the balsamic vinegar, 5 tablespoons of olive oil. Mix it all together, give it a little season and a little taste. Oh my God, and again, super simple, super easy, quick, delicious, yummy salad dressing. That's another one done in probably under a minute. And again, this is the perfect little quantity for 4 people. And there it is, a little Italian herb dressing done in minutes. Now, let's make the next one. This guy is creamy, delicious, insane for dipping chicken wings in, but also a great salad dressing. Kind of could be a cheat Caesar dressing. It's absolutely banging. So we're gonna make some ranch. So for the ranch, 1/2 cup of sour cream. We're gonna go 1 cup of plain yogurt. Make sure though on your yogurt that it is unsweetened and plain, because sometimes they're sneaky and they put sugar in it, which has just made me think, does this have it in? No, it doesn't, we're good. But always check. But some nice thick Greek yogurt for this is perfect, because again, it has some nice tangy notes. So we'll add that in. You can even make ranch with coconut yogurt. you know, just a natural coconut yogurt, it's a really great way to do it. And you can make it with mayonnaise. Yum. And then to this, we're going to grate in a good bit of Parmesan cheese on the trusty microplane. It's probably around a good heaped tablespoon. Again, to this, we're going to add a good clove of garlic, the zest of a bit of lemon. Again, not imperative, but nice for that little fresh note. And then a teaspoon of dried dill. And finally, to all of it, just some good salt and pepper. It may seem crazy adding salt to yogurt, but it really is incredible because it does make it from going from what you usually associate to be a sweet thing to something savory. And that is it. Give it a little taste. Oh, it's like a little bit cheesy, a little bit garlicky. I am actually just going to add a little bit more salt though. But then that is it. And you know what the good thing is? Probably about all of these dressings too, is if you leave it for a day, it's going to taste even better because all of them flavours are going to permeate all of the yogurt. Same with like the Italian dressing, all them flavours will all mix together and they'll just taste absolutely incredible. But that is ranch. Super simple, absolutely delicious ranch dressing. Now we're going to move on to some punchy big boy salad dressings. Okay, this is a punchy dressing that's really great. Minutes to make. We're going to do it with the stick blender, do it in the jug, and it's all done. What's also great about this is you can make it vegan and use coconut yogurt, but I'm just going to use regular yogurt for this one. What a mouthful. So let's get it together. For this, you definitely want a nice big handful of coriander, as this is the kind of main flavour to this dressing. It's what really kind of gives it its delicious flavour. So don't skimp on it, it's probably about 20 grams. Now we are going tahini. If none of you have ever heard of this, it's ground up sesame seeds. It's absolutely delicious. It comes from the Far East and it has just this insane nutty flavour. It's incredible, but we're going to use a nice, you know, half a teaspoon of tahini. We're going a teaspoon of chili flakes. Again, optional, you don't have to put them in if you don't like things hot. Half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, a good glug of some olive oil, and about a tablespoon of vinegar. And then we just got to blend it. Scrape it all off, give it a little taste. Oh, it's delicious because it's nutty, a little bit spicy. You've got the coriander. Oh, it's just absolutely delicious. And it would be absolutely incredible on top of some grilled vegetables or, you know, something like that. Especially in the middle of winter when veggies can get a bit boring, make a little bit of this yummy salad dressing, vegetable dressing, and just plonk it on top of your meal. It will just make it feel a lot more fresh and summery, even in deep dark winter. And that's another absolutely packed full of flavour dressing, easy to make, simple to blend, takes only a minute. You should give this one a go. Next, simple easy dressing, just takes a little bit more prep stuff, is a banging Thai, spicy, delicious, fragrant, so many things dressing. This is wicked on like cold noodle salads. You can pour it over some fish when you're having fish and rice. I mean, this thing is so versatile. You could even pour it on top of a leafy salad that's got loads of cucumber in it and carrot and all them sorts of things. Onions, I mean, whatever. You know, this would be great with the addition of some like toasted peanuts. It's an absolute winner. Might take slightly longer than the other ones, but only because you have to chop a few things. So I'm going to get that done now. I've got 10 grams of coriander, probably a tablespoon of mint. I've got a chili, ginger, and some garlic. We're going to grate this little knob, so maybe 10 grams worth of ginger. Grate this. I'm going to chop half of this chili, and I'm going to chop all of this, and then we're going to put that into a bowl, and then we'll make the dressing. Simple as. If you didn't have fresh chili, you could just use some dried. This This is a really good way to peel ginger, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about, here's a video for it. I've linked it just up here. And then here I've got a little nugget of palm sugar. If you didn't have palm sugar, you can just use brown or even white. But this stuff is great. It's great if you have it. And guess what? I'm going to grate it. So get some of that in there too. About the equivalent of a tablespoon. So that there is all the stuff chopped and grated. Took me a few minutes, but that's the hardest bit of it done. Now we just need to make the sauce. So what's really important when you're making this dressing is that when you taste it at the end, you can taste spicy, sweet, salty and sour, all in equal quantities of each. Like it shouldn't be saltier, or it shouldn't be sweeter, or it shouldn't be spicier. It should be all of them nicely balanced. So we're just going to add some bits of this, and then we've got another absolutely banging, delicious, tasty dressing. So I'm going to use lime juice like this, but if you had fresh limes, grate them in and add all the juice of one whole lime, and it will be absolutely sensational. So I've got 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, half a tablespoon of sesame oil, just for a little bit of flavour because this stuff is really strong, and then 4 tablespoons of veg oil. And there is the last one. For some reason, the camera cut out and you didn't see me finishing it off with a tiny little bit more fish sauce. But this is a great dressing. It will make any dull winter's evening feel fancy and like you're on holiday in Asia. This is an absolute win. It might take a few more minutes to make, but I promise you, it's absolutely delicious. The flavours are incredible. Now, let's move on to the last one. And finally, back to the creme de la creme, the classic, the OG, the original French dressing, Dijon. This, again, could not be simpler. Do not buy it, do not get it from the packet, just make it. And of course, I am using Dijon, but if you didn't have Dijon, this is literally just a mustard dressing. You don't need anything fancy, you don't need anything out there, and it's a great way to liven up your salad. Or maybe you've got some asparagus and a boiled egg, drizzle some of this over it. Maybe you're just having a really rich dinner that needs something nice and acidic on the side. Could not be easier, let's make it. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, oh, and a little bit more, and 6 tablespoons of olive oil. Or if you didn't have olive, you could use veg. Salt and pepper. And whisk it together. Yum. And there you have Dijon dressing. Perfectly emulsified, sweet, acidic, and just wonderful. So don't ever buy it again. The perfect amount of dressing for 4 people in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I mean, it literally takes no time whatsoever. And the good thing about this, keep it in the fridge. If it splits, just give it a shake. Like, all you have to do is that, and you will bring the dressing back together again. And even if it does split, it's still going to taste delicious, but it really shouldn't, because you have a perfect quantity of vinegar to oil. And that is Dijon dressing. 6 incredible dressings that you can make at home.